Trump's diplomatic gamble, power plays, and financial ripples in the Asia-Pacific in the high-stakes world of global politics and finance. One man's unpredictable leadership style has sent shockwaves through markets and geopolitics alike. Known for his relentless pursuit of deals and a reputation for never backing down, Donald Trump, upon his triumphant return to the White House, has set his sights on an unlikely target, North Korea. While his brash approach and intuitive decision-making have long defined his persona, Trump's fascination with North Korea hints at a broader strategy to reshape America's role in the Asia-Pacific. This is not just a tale of diplomacy, it's a gripping saga of power, ambition, and economic maneuvering that could redefine global markets for investors and business leaders. Understanding these geopolitical shifts is key to navigating the volatile financial landscape of 2025. Buckle up as we unravel Trump's audacious gambit and reveal how to profit from the chaos it may unleash. Trump's leadership has always been a lightning rod, characterized by a bold, instinct-driven style that thrives on disruption. When he reclaimed the presidency in late 2024, the world braced for a new chapter of his America First doctrine across the Pacific. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, responded with fiery rhetoric, vowing the most stringent anti-American policies in history. Yet, in a surprising twist, Trump extended an olive branch, expressing a desire to meet Kim again and reappointing a trusted diplomat from his first term to spearhead outreach. This move wasn't just diplomatic theater, it signaled a potential pivot in U.S. policy toward Asia, one that could ripple through currency markets, trade flows, and investment opportunities. Unlike traditional presidents, Trump's approach is anything but conventional. A psychological profile once labeled him a high-dominance charismatic personality, marked by intense self-confidence and a tendency to act on impulse. Critics call it reckless. Supporters call it genius. His decisions often seem spontaneous, yet they've sparked a movement among think tanks and strategists who translate his instincts into structured policies. These advisors, rallying around the America First banner, have filled the gaps in Trump's logic, crafting a systematic framework for his vision. While some argue this overcomplicates his intentions, it has undeniably lent staying power to his ideas, influencing long-term U.S. strategy and creating market-moving dynamics. Trump's fixation on North Korea stands in stark contrast to decades of U.S. policy. In the early 2000s, the U.S. branded North Korea part of an axis of evil, alongside nations like Iraq and Iran, framing them as threats to global stability. The goal was clear: weaken or overthrow these regimes through sanctions, military pressure, or orchestrated regime change. Libya's fate disarmed, destabilized, and toppled served as a cautionary tale for North Korea, which briefly engaged in denuclearization talks only to double down on its nuclear ambitions after witnessing and Libya's collapse. By 2012, North Korea's missile tests had reignited tensions, and U.S. sanctions tightened, aiming to choke its economy into submission. When Trump took office in 2017, he broke from this script. Defiant of the establishment's playbook, he sought direct engagement with Kim Jong-un, culminating in a historic summit in Singapore. The move stunned critics, who argued it legitimized a rogue regime, shattering the narrative of good versus evil. Trump, undeterred, saw it as a chance to showcase his deal-making prowess. Over 3 meetings, he and Kim exchanged letters and public praise, with Trump even claiming they'd fallen in love. Yet, without bureaucratic support, these efforts faltered, talks collapsed, and North Korea ramped up missile tests, leaving Trump's first-term overtures as little more than a bold experiment. Fast forward to 2025, and Trump's second term brings a new dynamic. His authority is bolstered by a loyal cadre of advisors and a network of think tanks, like the America First Policy Institute, which have spent years refining his vision. On his first day back in office, Trump boldly declared North Korea a peaceful nation and a legitimate state, a statement that sent shockwaves through global markets. The U.S. dollar wavered as investors questioned the implications for Asian stability, while South Korean equities dipped amid fears of regional escalation. Media outlets and allies, including South Korea's defense ministry, decried the remarks, But Trump's newfound clout backed by a robust policy machine ensured they couldn't be dismissed as mere bluster. This shift reflects a broader strategic recalibration. Influential advisors argue that the U.S. must prioritize its dominance in the Asia-Pacific, particularly against a rising China, which they see as the only true threat to American supremacy. In this view, North Korea, once an evil foe, becomes a potential ally to counterbalance China's influence. A prominent think tank proposed a radical departure and demands for North Korea's denuclearization, lift sanctions, and normalize relations in exchange for a freeze on its nuclear capabilities. This mutual deterrence strategy aims to stabilize the region while freeing U.S. resources to focus on China, potentially reshaping trade and investment flows. For markets, this pivot is a game changer. A thawing of U.S.-North Korea relations could unlock new trade routes, boost Asian equities, and stabilize commodity prices, particularly for energy and grains. Conversely, failure risks heightened volatility, as North Korea's strengthened ties with Russia fueled by arms for food deals reduce its reliance on U.S. concessions. Meanwhile, South Korea's strained relations with the North, exacerbated by provocative policies and severed infrastructure links, add uncertainty. Investors must navigate this complex landscape, where geopolitical surprises can spark rapid market swings. To thrive in this environment, adopt these strategies. First, monitor currency markets. U.S. policy shifts could weaken the dollar if tensions ease or strengthen it if conflicts escalate. Hedge with diversified forex positions. Second, invest in Asian markets selectively. South Korean tech and Japanese industrials may benefit from regional stability, but avoid overexposure to volatile sectors. Third, track commodity trends. North Korea's resource deals with Russia could stabilize grain and energy prices, offering opportunities in futures markets. Fourth, stay informed via platforms like X, where real-time geopolitical updates can signal market moves. Fifth, prioritize resilience. Balance high-risk bets with safe havens like gold or U.S. Treasuries to weather uncertainty. Finally, think long-term. Trump's policies, while unpredictable, are now backed by a robust framework, suggesting lasting impacts on global trade and finance. In 2025, as Trump's North Korea gambit unfolds, the Asia-Pacific stands at a crossroads. Will his unconventional diplomacy stabilize the region or ignite new tensions? For investors, the stakes are high, but so are the rewards. By understanding the interplay of politics and markets, you can seize opportunities in this dynamic landscape. The world is watching. Will you capitalize on the chaos or be caught in its wake?